One. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the hood. Be chilling on the green box with Specks, Thompson,
And the View from Legacy of the View.
and we're here with another episode.
Yeah, another interview, really.
Another interview. Yeah,
you're
another
right.
interview. But this time, bro, don't leave, man. You left me
I
last time, man.
I try, man. I try, really, man. But the how, when it comes, I gotta go.
And then you had the feedback, fighting that
Yeah,
electricity
the how
thing,
took over
man.
electricity person,
God,
and I just had to fight him. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I won't do it this time.
Hey, but today we got Ben C. Schwartz. Like, Schwartz from, like, Spaceballs. Remember that movie?
I don't remember that movie, bro. I don't. You old as hell.
Bro, I ain't that old, but I remember, man. Just because you so young, man. You was 2000.
Whatever.
Might be 2010, babe, really.
You pushing it now, bro. You pushing it.
But yeah, man. What you got on Ben? Who is he? Give him like a little feedback, so people know who he is before we interview him.
Well, Ben is a Californian. He's a comic book owner as well as a comic book creator at Continuum Universe. And, he loves Pugs. He got a whole bunch of issues out, man. A lot more than most people think. And he's a great guy. Everybody's going to meet him. Y'all going to enjoy him. I'm pretty sure y'all are. And see more about his insight.
That's what's up. So, let's go ahead and get him together so we can,
it's going on again, bro. I'm sorry, man. Hey, it's happening.
You almost.
I know, but it's a howler. I got.
Go ahead, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Sorry, y'all. I'm out.
Don't. This time, I'm moving from the green box. Just move that fight down green box. I don't want no feedback.
Okay, I got you.
Just go.
All right, thank you.
Oh man, sorry about that, man. Like every time we do this interview, he's got to go. Like I can't explain it, man. Just perfect timing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, very convenient, isn't it?
Yeah. How are you this morning? Is it early over there? I know you all in California.
Yeah, it's about 9 o'clock right now, so not too bad at all. It's kind of an overcast day here, but just a beautiful morning here in California. No rain, no wind.
See, it rained over here in Georgia yesterday. Now it's 36 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, that's a huge difference. I'm happy with what we got. Please.
Yeah. So introduce yourself to the people. People who don't know you. What's your name and where you from?
My name is Ben C. Schwartz, and I'm here in Sacramento, California. I am the owner of Empire's Comics Vault and Hot Sauce, and I am also a writer, editor, publisher for the Continuum Universe, Trixie, Dynamite, and a kids line based on my Pugs, Roly, Polly, and Captain Dylan. So we kind of got my hands in a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's real dope. So I don't know if you have electrical boxes over there in California, but like over here we have electrical boxes that sit like front of certain houses in the in the neighborhood, and we call it a green box. And we just sometimes you just go and chill on them with your friends or whatever. So that's basically what we do here. We just chill on the green box, chopping up with each other. That's all.
Nice. So this is gonna be fun. This will be a nice little fun interview.
All right, and all my questions and formats is like based off things that in the comic book universe or the music universe or just chill on the green box universe. But so the first one is like icebreakers, but I call it breaking it down because like sitting on the green box, we're gonna break you down, gonna break your brain down to see what type of person you are.
All right, let's do it.
All right. First question I got. What is one important skill that you think everyone should have?
Communication. Everybody should be able to communicate, whether it's work-related, whether it's friend-related, whether it's just people you don't know. Communication is extremely important. It is also the problem, lack of, between many disagreements and when people begin to butt heads. So without a doubt, first thing that came to mind, it's communication. It's extremely important to be able to talk to people and to be able to express yourself, but also to be able to listen to what the other person is saying.
Yeah, that's great. What would you okay. Elon Musk, last year before, he was having people pay to take trips in outer space and whatnot. And if you had the money, would you do that? And if you would, where would you go and like and why?
So if I was him, if I had the money, there's absolutely no way I would do that. It's the biggest ego stroke you've ever seen. You can't even take care of the homeless problem here in California, but you got to send rich people to space. Yeah. So I wouldn't. It would be off the plate. You could take that money and you could donate it into your communities. You could rework things. You could. I mean, there's so much that could be done right here that there's no need for that.
Yeah,
so no. The answer is no. I would not send myself to space as much as I would want to.
Hey, that's great. That's a great answer because I mean, it makes sense because there was a lot of money. He could have did. Those people could have did a lot with that money. Like they didn't even stay in the air that long.
Yeah. No. You just go up and you come down, and it like I said, it's pointless. It's just a giant ego stroke.
True. And if you could be one supernatural creature at night, what would it be and why?
Oh my God, one supernatural creature at night. I mean, God, I guess I'm gonna have to go with like an Anne Rice vampire. It can't be the nasty vampires. It has to be the Anne Rice version of vampires. I mean, I don't want to meet any supernatural creatures at night, to be quite honest with you. I mean, maybe a leprechaun if I find his gold, but that's probably going to end up like bad for me because I've seen the movies.
Yeah.
So, man, so many things flashed through my mind, and the first answer to all of them was no, thank you. But sure, I'll take eternal life. Why not? Let's go with that.
It's only at night though. Cause you turn to daytime, you be back regular being.
Okay, well then that's all right. I'm meeting them for one, just for a beer at night, and then hopefully we both go our own ways.
Yeah. All right. So that was breaking you down. Hopefully, people got a good variety of like what you is. But now we're finna go into your back issues. As a comic book store owner, you got plenty of back issues. So we're gonna go to your back issues now and see more about you because in comics, that's what you do. You're gonna find out about a character, you go into their back issues.
Perfect.
All right. So where are you from and what do you call your hood?
So I am originally from more of the Bay Area, the Concord, Martinez, Pittsburgh, Antioch, that kind of stuff. But I moved here to Sacramento in middle school, and I've been here ever since. So Sacramento is my home. That other stuff is just way back in the childhood. Sacramento is what I love. Sacramento is what I know. And when I say Sacramento, I just say Sacramento as a general term. I'm talking about everything from Elk Grove out to Rockland to, even down to Davis. That is Sacramento. That's the area that we live in. That's the area that we travel for food and for other things. So Sacramento is it. And I love this town. I absolutely love it. It's where I started my business. And it actually February 1st, which I completely forgot about and did nothing, was our 20-year anniversary. So yeah, so it's been a good long while. And I don't plan on leaving here at all. I'll be in business as long as I can, and I'll keep creating comics as long as I can. But yeah, Sacramento is the place.
And you said Oakland at first. My daughter's in here, so I
oh, nice.
She just won't.
She make a guest appearance.
Yeah. You said Oakland, right?
I did not.
What'd you say at first? What did you say you was born?
Concord, Antioch, Martinez, that area. So it's a little off from the Bay.
So Bay Area. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So how far? I'm over here in Georgia. So how far is the Bay from Sacramento?
You can get there in an hour and a half at the most. So it's not far. Sacramento's really nice too, and I like it for that reason because you've got an hour and a half to the bay where you can get to the city and the ocean, and then you've got another hour and a half, and you're up in the hills where the snow is and the skiing is. So it's really nice and centrally located, and very convenient in that regard.
Wow, that is a great location. It's very great.
Yeah,
I've been to California, but I don't think I've ever been to Sacramento though. I think I've been to Santa Ana or San Maria. It's like a little bit farther from San Diego.
Yes, San Diego is beautiful too. But if you're up this way, Sacramento is kind of a little hub. So if you're going places, you tend to travel through it, but it's not necessarily that you go to come see the Tower Bridge. People are going to San Francisco Show or the Foothills or things like that.
Okay. So do you listen to music?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So what was your first encounters with music and made you, say this is the type of music that I really love?
I've gone through a lot of different phases in music, but obviously high school was, I'd listened to music up till then, but high school was when it like really hit. And I went through a huge classic rock phase, like the Doors and Janis Joplin and, the Eagles and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of a moment where it was like, oh my God, there's so much more to this. And then it kind of opened it up and I started looking for tons of different things. But it was that whole thing where the kid goes back 20, to the 20 years thing to listen to that music that really got me going and then started me down a ton of different roads.
So back when you were in high school, was it still considered classic rock or did it have like a different term back then?
No, it was still classic rock. That it was because I was back in high school in the late 80s, early 90s. And that stuff was still classic rock, but now it actually, it's been a while now. It's really weird because I started hearing my music that was coming out when I was in high school on the classic rock stations. And it's just so strange. But, time passes. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's true. They say every 30 years,
Yeah. Oh, yes.
All right. So what was your first comic or comic related TV show that got you like say, hey, I enjoy this comic book stuff? Like what was the first thing that triggered you?
So I remember the shows as a kid, but it was really, and I'd seen them and I watched them because you had the, Amazing Friends on TV, Spider-Man has Amazing Friends. There was that old Hulk show, of course, the Adam West Batman, but it was really the comics themselves that started it, because it was that thing where I would always go to the store and I'd be able to pick some up at Safeway or pull it off the spinner rack at 7-Eleven. And, it was casual and it was fun because I was a kid. I didn't have money. It was at the whim of my parents and I would grab what I could. But it was once I finally was just a little older and I could get on my bike and go wherever I wanted and had a little bit of allowance that I really started like digging into the comics. There was a little shop called Land of Neverwas where I lived that I could bike to and I could pick up old issues. And it was crazy too because back issues, I'd pick up old issues of X-Men stuff for like $5, and I could, you could actually afford an early issue of X-Men at the time. It was crazy. So it was the actual stores itself. And then of course, as I got older, I could get to these places and I could get to multiple comic shops and I could actually follow everything that I wanted. But it was the issues themselves and the shows and the movies and things like that. Those were just a nice complement to the universe that I was immersed in.
Did any book really gravitate you to like it? Was it like Superman or Batman or something obscure?
So I've always been a Marvel kid. And I couldn't be too picky back in the day because there wasn't a lot on those shelves. They didn't keep like consecutive issues, but I always gravitated towards the Marvel. The X-Men were my favorite. Peter Parker is the greatest superhero that ever lived. But over at DC, you've got Teen Titans were always an attraction to me. Legion of Superheroes is just one of my favorites. But it was really the X-Men stuff, when Byrne and Claremont were writing it. It was just unbelievable, and it continued to be unbelievable, through the entire Claremont
run. Being in California, did you see like it was missing like representation of superheroes in California or comic books that took place in California?
So yeah, everything seemed to take place in New York. Most definitely. That was, and it was always a thing where it was like, God, how crowded is this place? Like, why would a villain even go to New York when every single you got the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men are just outside of town. But then they did the West Coast Avengers, which was a really, really fun book. And, it had a lot of the B characters at that time, which allowed them to do a lot more with it. And of course, through the, as things have gone on, they've tried to spread them around a little more. But it was really neat just to see the West Coast Avengers because it was finally like, oh, somebody's actually protecting this side of the country.
With the possibility of the West Coast Avengers coming out, are you looking forward to it in the MCU?
Oh, yeah. Everything the MCU does is gold. Like the television shows are fantastic. They're able to start things that we're going to be able to see. You know, I mean, She-Hulk is going to hit the scene. I cannot wait to see Kate Bishop. That Hawkeye show was just wonderful. It's really well done by Marvel. They have got it nailed, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them all spin together. And I hope that DC can get their act together and with James Gunn and do the same thing.
I can't think of the actor name right now, but you think he's a look of fate that, you know, he broke 32 bones or 38 bones, and now they probably have to push Kate Bishop for real in the MCU.
Oh yeah, the I just forgot his name, but Hawkeye. What was his name?
I think Jeremy. Is it
Jeremy? Yes, Jeremy. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but Kate, I think, is still going to be making the appearance, you know, because they're passing the torch in a lot of ways, which is great. And I thought the young girl who played Kate Bishop was fantastic. It was such a fun show.
And what is your
name? Renner.
What's his name?
Renner, Jimmy Renner.
Oh yeah, that's it. What is your West Coast Avenger lineup?
You know, I really like the classic one. I like when we had Hawkeye, when we had Mockingbird and Moon Knight. I really kind of, it was, like I said, it was fun because it was kind of B-list. You know, you wouldn't call a lot of those characters B-list now, but it was really fun to do that, and that was actually one of my favorite eras of the actual Avengers too, when Wasp was leading it, because they'd taken out the big three. Like, I've seen enough of Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man leading the Avengers. I want to see some of these other people and let them go do their own thing. Let's bring in a whole new crew. So yeah. And again, I think it's really fun when they do that because they have a lot more leeway. You can only do so much with Captain America because he affects so many other things. But, you know, you bring in a low tier character and they're like, whatever you want. Change his character, evolve him, kill him, do whatever you feel like. So those are right. Enjoy.
That's right. And last question, going on your back issues. When did you find out that you was a geek yourself?
I mean, probably when somebody called me that in elementary school. I mean, you know, everybody loves comics and stuff nowadays, but you know, when you were the kid lugging your Dungeons and Dragons stuff with your comic book stuff in your backpack along with your homework, it was different back then. But yeah, I mean, it's just always been into this stuff, whether it's been board games or role playing games, comic books. It's just fascinated me. I would rather have been immersed in that than going out and playing baseball during PE.
And it's weird because and I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, but looking at 80s movies, look how they push a lot of nerd geek stuff out, like Avenger nerds and Data and the Goonies, and it basically was you know, kids, like nerdy kids, but it was still not frowned upon, but just ha look at you type of thing. But it looked like it was popular at the same time.
You know, I guess it was frowned upon. Wouldn't actually like be the word. You're right. That's not it. But it was just a subculture. It was a culture that most people didn't get, and they weren't quite. Even though everybody plays D&D now and everyone plays video games, it was just a little bit different. It wasn't like, you know, the movies extend or make everything seem worse. It's not like I was getting in fights every day or people were bullying me all the time because I was doing it. They just didn't understand it. And so like with the Goonies, all of those kids looked like they were the outcasts. So it made sense with like Data and that. But again, it was fun times. A lot of good stuff came out of the 80s.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And everybody, like I said, 30 years, everybody coming back to it. Everybody's basing all their TV shows in the 80s and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So that was going to your back issues. Now we're finna going to your hotkeys. You know, that's a mixed term that, you know, DJs use to, you know, trigger points in the song, and as well as comic book collectors that you want to learn about, you know, Captain America, go back to the key issues, you know, that's the ones that can be valued more. So now I'm finna go on yours, hotkeys. So my first hotkey for you is, what came first for you, the comic book shop or the comic books?
the comic book shop came first. The comics were something that I'd always wanted to do, something that I had, envisioned and worked on and written about. But it wasn't until I got the shop that it became more of a reality, because once I was there, I started meeting people. I started meeting writers, or people who wanted to be a writer, people who wanted to be a comic book artist, and I was able to pull some of them together, and we just started going. And so the comic book shop was the catalyst for the comics and the children's books that I have now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And do you think you have a better insight of marketing your books because you are a shop owner over like me as a comic creator who doesn't have a shop? Do you have like a better insight of marketing? Like you can push your books on people easier because you know what they're buying or whatnot? Or what do you think?
So no, because I know what sells. I know what I like. I know what works as a retailer. But trying to get my books into the hands of people is, I could sell you a Rick Remender book and just tell you 30 reasons why you buy the book and everyone's going to pick it up. But when it's your own book, it's almost like you feel, I feel like I'm pushing this on you, even though I love it and even though I enjoy it. It's just it's an experience that you have to get over as a creator. I've talked to other people who do have the same problem, and then you've got some people who have no problem. They're just like, pick this up. You're going to absolutely love it. So no, it didn't give me as much help as I would like, but it did allow me to see some of the pitfalls that I'd seen other people do, other small press publishers, and hopefully avoid those. And more importantly, what it's really done is, after all these years of doing both the shop and the small press, it's allowed me to give my insights over the years to the people who are now creating comic books so that they don't go through the same things I did.
That's great. That's great. And as your I guess your publishing company, what is the Continuum universe like? What is it exactly?
So we have a couple different things. It's all under the umbrella of Continuum Press, and the Continuum universe itself is the first thing that I ever worked on, and it's a variety of stories, whether it's science fiction, your typical superhero, to horror, and the mystical. And each one of these stories was their own thing, and they were taking place kind of doing their own thing, but they were all part of the same world. So you would see overlaps. You might see a character appear. You might see, a logo that was in one appear in the background of another. So we did that and sprinkled it because the ultimate goal was to bring it all together as a whole. So I've got 2 volumes available for that right now. Continuum Universe Volume 1, which was all of these short stories, and then Continuum Universe Volume 2, which was all of the actual issues. Now that both of those volumes encompasses everything that's part of this world. And over on bencschwartz.substack.com, we are starting to continue things again. And what's happening is everything that was in those volumes happened. We're jumping 3 years into the future because we're just starting. Whether you're a new reader or an old reader, it's a fresh start. All of that stuff took place, but now we're here, and it's going to allow me a lot of flexibility because I'm going to be able to tell this current story in the 3 year mark, but I can also do flashbacks. I can jump back a year, jump back 2 years, show you how they got to where they are, resolve some things that were in the others. And the main 2 characters are going to be Relic and Ego, which appear in both Volume 1 and Volume 2, as they deal with this big overarching threat that was building in their story. So that's the Continuum universe. And of course, Trixie Dynamite is an all ages, action-packed, Looney Tunes style comic that takes place in Sacramentropolis 100 years in the future, as we follow this heroine, Trixie Dynamite, who is just ridiculous as she saves the city, saves the world. And it's just a lot of fun. It allows me to play with local landmarks, local people, and it also allows me to talk about things and make them fun, so that kids can read it and just laugh, but adults are getting that second level where they can see, oh, here's what he's referencing, here's what he's talking about. So that's Trixie Dynamite. That's in production as well. In fact, we over at bencschwartz.substack.com, we just put up a new webcomic and actually this Monday, pages 1 through 4 of a new 8-pager are hitting as well. So we've got stuff in production on that. And then Roly Poly and Captain Dylan, my 2 pugs that run around the store with me, I have a children's book based on them that is out. And then the next volume is being worked on by a wonderful artist, Jen Monson. And it's a kind of a tribute to Sacramento, because they just they go around Sacramento and see all of my favorite landmarks. So we've got a lot going on.
So how many people are part of your team? And you create.
So there's a lot of people that work on this, and a lot of people that I've worked on it in the past, because those 2 volumes that I talked about are like 700 pages worth of stuff. So there's a lot of different people, whether it's the writers, the pencilers, the inkers, the colorists, the letters, the editors, the graphic design. I mean, a ton of people. And going into the new stuff, we have to find those people again. I've got old creators that I'm going to be working with that are coming back. There are going to be some new ones that I've discovered since we were publishing. So yeah, it's a handful, and you've got to manage all of these people, because it's not just write the script, let the guy draw it. You know, if it's your product and your vision, you have to kind of handle this stuff. You've got to make sure the pencils are done right, make sure the inks are done, the colors are correct, the pages are lined up right, the editing is done. So a lot of people is the short answer.
All right. And you talked about your Substack a few minutes ago. What made you create that?
So I was looking for a new platform. I wanted something that I could do. I rebuilt my website, and, you know, websites are for the most part pretty static. I can go change some things up there, and I can do a blog post, and I can do it. But I wanted something interactive, and I wanted something fresh that really met the criteria I had. And Substack seemed to be the place. I went and looked at it, and you can, you know, do your typical blog post type stuff combined with emails. The ease of it is great. It's, you know, the formatting is wonderful. So when you go there, whether it's on your phone, on your tablet, or on your computer, and you scroll down looking at those Trixie Dynamite webcomics, it all looks beautiful. There's no need to change anything. So I've really enjoyed it. We've had quite a few people who have enjoyed it as well. And so I'm going to keep doing it. I put a new Substack post up every Monday, and it's a little bit of everything. It could be about the kids. It could be about the, you know, Trixie Dynamite. Like I said, we have not webcomics, a new full story showing up this Monday, or it could just be, you know, an interview. We did one about one of the artists I worked with and what motivated him, what made him tick. So you just don't know what you're going to find, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And then there's a lot more insight about me that's going to be coming too, because I'm going to be talking about the origins of these things, how I came up with stuff, the process on writing, finding artists, etc. So yeah, it's a great site, and I have a lot of fun with it.
Well, since you're talking about origins, like one of my questions was, what made you take your love for your dogs and turn them to a children's story?
So the dogs are fantastic. They're the mascots of Empires Comics. They're there all the time with me. They just hang out, have free reign of it. Everybody loves the dogs. And I wanted to try something new. I'd done a ton of comics, and I wanted to hit something that I could put on the children's section, because there's a lot of kids, and the dogs are obviously a huge hit with all of them. So it was a buddy of mine and myself decided we were just going to each create a book, and we were going to keep each other motivated, and we were going to get this thing done. And it was pretty much a no-brainer to just do something with the dogs. So I started off with the first volume, making it where it's a typical day in their life. From the moment they wake up to being fed, walking, going to the store, playing with people, taking a nap. It's just a fun little thing where it shows you what these working dogs go through, because they are actually working dogs. They have a job at the store, and they love it. They love coming, and I love having them there with me.
That's cool. Cause in my local comic book store, he has cats that roam around the store.
Oh, that's cool.
So I understand. Cool. I definitely understand where you're coming from when they got a job at the store, because everybody comes in a comic book shop, you know, pets the cat, know the cat's names, and it's just part of the shop.
Yeah, and the cats love it. You guys love it. It's a win-win.
All right, now as part of the show, we digging in the crates. And that's what DJs do, and they want to pull out that one record that's gonna set it off, right? And this on my show, we going back to pull one couple questions that will close the show out.
Okay.
So First question is, if you can go back in time and take one thing from the past and bring it back, what would it be?
Oh my God. I mean, the first thing you think of, because we're talking comics, is just go grab Action Comics, and pull it off the shelf. And you said only one, I could only grab one of them. So I mean, Action Comics would obviously be a great one, just to have that one. And then of course that would set me up for life. I could be writing comics from now on without doing anything. So we'll just stick with that because that was the first thing that popped into my head.
So with that being said, have you ever heard of the Nicolas Cage's National Treasure?
Yeah.
When it was stolen?
But I've heard of it.
When it was stolen?
Oh no.
So he had a party one time, and I don't know what kind of party it was, but somebody allegedly, nobody can't be confirmed or say it's not true, stole his, I guess it was mint condition. I don't know what was. I don't think it was 9.9, but his Action Comics. Somebody stole
he probably had a really good one.
Yeah, somebody stole it from him.
Man.
Yeah, so they right now I think there's a podcast going on.
I kind of feel that that's on Nicolas Cage because he was sitting around.
Yeah,
that should not be just sitting on the coffee table.
Yeah,
it should be somewhere pretty darn safe.
Yeah, so that's funny. So now that I heard your answer, I think you had a time machine.
Yeah, there we go. Went back in time and stole his in particular. That's awesome.
Yeah. If they would make a monument to go right in front of your store or take down your store and put a monument right there, what do you want to, the little plaque or the story behind that monument to say about you as a person?
About me as a person, then it would, let's just go with, it should say something to the effect that, Ben C. Schwartz lived his life. Boy, this is harder than I thought. Lived his life with kindness. He lived his life, taking care of himself, his wife, his pugs, and making sure that everyone around him was taken care of as well. And that's about it.
Short and sweet, huh?
Yes. I don't need a lot. I don't even need a monument.
Yeah.
You can just scatter me in my garden when I'm gone.
That's what's up, man. So that's the end of the show. Thanks for chilling on Green Box with me. It would be the view, but he had to go do superhero stuff. Once again, but hey, maybe he can get one interview in. Maybe.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for being on. Thank you for dealing with me pushing the show back because my kids, acting up. But give the folks somewhere they can find you, find your books, and keep following you in your journey.
Yeah, so you can, of course, go to empirescomics.com or follow that on any of the social media. You can also go to bencschwartz.com. But really, for the creative stuff, I'm focusing on Substack. So you're going to want to go to bencschwartz.substack.com. And, of course, Ben C. Schwartz on any of the social medias. Basically, those are, you can find us anywhere.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great, man. And I just definitely be checking you out. I'm seeing you on a couple other podcasts, so that's when you reached out. I was like, hey, I want to talk to him as well.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate you having me on this morning.
No problem. But thank you. Thank you for chilling on the Green Box with me, man. Till next time. So, man. Yeah, that's Chill on the Green Box, with Ben C. Schwartz. And he was a great guest. Y'all check out all his titles and his Substack as well. And again, this is Chill on the Green Box with Specks Thompson. Interview for Legacy to View. He's not here, but hey, check him out at legacy.com and all the social media at Legacy to View. And we're out.